Hello everyone, this is Jake,
And Madeline.
and so we are going to teach you how to factor three terms in GCF. So we're just going to go right into the introduction. So what is a three-term factoring? Well, when you factor three terms, you are given a, b, and c values. To determine these values, you have to add a and c together for the product that equals to b.
What is GCF? The GCF is the number or variable that fits into each term at the greatest value. And a little tip is the GCF can be a variable such as x, y, a, or b, as well as other numbers.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about problem number one. So for problem number one, this is an easy one to start. It's y equals x squared plus 3x minus 10. Step one, you multiply x squared and negative 10. So as you see over by the t-chart, that we just figure out different things that can multiply to negative 10. So we had negative 1 and 10, and then we found out obviously that 5 and negative 2 do equal this middle number of 3, which is b. So then the next step we would do is to add these two numbers into the original equation that substitute for the 3x. So the new equation after that would be y equals parentheses x squared plus 5x parentheses minus or negative 2x minus 10 parentheses. So then if you just whip it over to here, you would factor out the GCF, which over here is x and then negative 2. So it would be y equals x parentheses x plus 5 parentheses negative 2 parentheses x plus 5. And you want to make sure, this is a key tip, to make sure the x plus 5, the x plus 5 is like they equal, like match up. And then you would just take the x minus 2 and then put that together for a term. So your answer would be y equals parentheses x minus 2 parentheses x plus 5. Okay, so now going on to problem number 2. Now this one is just a little harder, but it just, you have to think. So basically our problem is y equals 24x squared plus 16x minus 8. So the first step is to find the GCF of the entire equation. So after you find that, it's obviously 8, so it's going to be y equals 8 parentheses 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 parentheses. So then after that, you find that equation. You multiply a and c values for the sum of the product of b, which is obviously easy. It's negative 3. So you do 3 and negative 1. So then the next step is to do 3x squared plus 3x and then negative x minus 1. So then the next step is just to factor out that GCF, and your equation will be y equals 3x parentheses x plus 1 parentheses negative 1 parentheses x plus 1. And then your answer will be y equals 8 parentheses x 8 parentheses 3x minus 1 parentheses x plus 1. So then just a little tip, just don't forget the GCF that you had originally started with. Okay, and now I'm going to bring it over to Madeline for problem 3 and 4.
Alrighty. Hey guys, so we're going to move on to problem 3. And this one's going to be dealing with GCF. So our equation is y equals 64x squared plus 24x plus 8. And so your first step is going to be to take out the GCF, which is 8. So your equation now is y equals 8 parentheses 8x squared plus 3x plus 1 parentheses. And so the thing about this problem is that it isn't factorable because there isn't a term that can multiply to get 8 but add to get 3. And so you would just leave your answer as y equals 8 parentheses 8x squared plus 3x plus 1. And now moving on to problem 4, which is a little bit harder, but the same thing as GCF. Your equation is y equals 36a cubed plus plus 6a squared minus 2a. So your first step is going to be to find your GCF, which is negative 2a, and so your equation now is negative 2a parentheses negative 18a squared minus 3a plus 1 parentheses. And so now you're going to find a term that multiplies to get negative 18 but adds to get negative 3. And so that number, those two numbers are 3 and negative 6. And so now your next step is to plug that into the equation, and so now it is y equals negative 18a squared minus 6a plus 3a plus 1. And so now you're going to take out your like terms. So now it is y equals negative 6a parentheses 3a plus 1 parentheses 3a plus 1 parentheses. And so your final answer is going to be y equals negative 2a negative 6a plus 1 3a plus 1 squared.
And that is our lesson on factoring three terms in GCF. So hopefully that helped y'all out and you can ace this on the test.